MJDP goal scorer number 49, Ryan Jacobson. That goal is unassisted. Jacobson with the goal for MJDP. 1 minute to play in the first period. 1 minute. After 1 period of play, MJelite and Trex are tied at 1. Shot side ball in the first period. For the Jets, they had 13 and the Trex had 5.
hoping to make a save of his own. It was pretty funny to see here in person. We welcome you back to the Summit Ice Arena, or Ice Center, excuse me. We are tied at 1 through 20 minutes of play. Goals coming from Ramsey Paulo and Ryan Jacobson. Each team 0 for 1 on the power play through that first period, and shots were in favor of the Metro Jets 11-5. It was a pretty T-Rex heavy first period up until that goal for Ramsey Paulo, which was about 4 minutes and 11 seconds, into the hockey game, and the Metro Jets were able to shake off the bus legs and turn up the heat. Puck is dropped and we are underway. It's sent into the Metro Jets zone. It's Donald Pratt. He'll start moving out towards the neutral zone and roll off the end of his stick. T-Rex will send it right back in. First one after it there is Michael Sauer for the T-Rex. Gets sent out to the blue line. Wrist shot there, got blocked on its way through. And Scott Dewar will bank it off the wall and into T-Rex territory. Ramsey Paulo will pull up and throw it up the far wall. Turned over to the T-Rex. Wrist shot on goal was bobbled for a moment by Driscoll. He ends up getting the glove on it. And we'll get a whistle. Face off to the right-hand side of Jonah Driscoll. Lewandowski on the face-off could not win that fully. Ends up going to Lubbers. His wrist shot was blocked to the corner. Kicked up the wall. Ethan Adams will send it up the wall and all the way down. This one on the fresh sheet of ice had a little too much steam on it. Ends up being an icing call against the T-Rex. It'll come all the way back to T-Rex territory. Face off once again, going to the right-hand side of Driscoll. Lewandowski will win this face-off. It ends up going to Miles Goldman. Wearing number 75 out there for the T-Rex. Out to the slot. A wrist shot from Dix ends up going off a leg and wide. Along the wall, Lubbers trying to pull that puck free for the Metro Jets. Also helping out is Donovan Miller for the T-Rex. Ends up coming out to the blue line. Slap shot from Otto, sails wide. Hansen keeps it in on the far side. Pushed out by the T-Rex. And out to the neutral zone they come. Lewandowski had it on his backhand. Couldn't really do too much with it. And the Jets will take over once more. It's Lubbers through the neutral zone and over the blue line. He'll drop it to the middle for Hansen. Try to go from backhand to forehand. Ended up losing it. His backhander from the bottom of the circle gets kicked out by Driscoll. Held in at the blue line briefly there from Dewar. He'll turn the puck over and the T-Rex get it out to the neutral zone, but right back is Tyler Dix. His wrist shot blockered up off the glass and it wraps out to center ice. Here's Laprise in his own zone. We'll throw it towards the middle. Aiden Racosta shielding away from the check of Paulo, but Paulo, nice job sticking with him. Able to knock the puck away and send it out to center ice. Mulligan will gallop his way out towards center ice. Laprise had it stripped off his stick by his own teammate Mulligan. He was able to get it over the blue line, but got caught up in a couple skates and a possible 2-on-1 here. Ramsey Paulo, the trigger man, holding on to it. Paulo shooting, and he was well defended from behind by Mulligan. Mulligan's going to get a penalty for it. Paulo got the shot off, but still, we are going to get a power play as off for a slashing call is Mulligan. Second power play of the evening coming up for the T-Rex. .21 left to go in the period. As I mentioned, the T-Rex 0 for 1 on their first power play. Got a couple chances. Don't think any shots ended up making its way towards the goal. Clearing attempt is held in on the far side. Sent to the corner. Lucas is battling for it. Ends up popping out in behind. Clearing attempt held in at the blue line by Paulo. His wrist shot never made it through. Bounces right back to Bakai here at the far side. On the backhand, he'll wrap it around. Sauer out in front. Bouncing puck goes into the stomach of Dreisbach. And he'll hang on. Right on top of him was Nicholas Nacy. Ready to hack and whack at that one. .25 seconds gone on this penalty. Face-off will go to the left of Dreisbach. Sauer on the draw will win it back for Bakai. He'll send it down the wall. Picked up there by Aksanov. He'll go off the glass and all the way down. Bakai for the T-Rex will retrieve, will come up the near wall. That pass missed. Dewar's long snapper from the blue line is gloved down by Driscoll. And we'll get a whistle and a defensive zone draw coming for the T-Rex. We'll get a new unit out there. Ethan Adams, Parker Lewandowski, Micah Jenkins among the new forward group. There's Donovan Miller. He'll hack it out to center ice. Turned over at the blue line and sent right back by the Jets. Jenkins behind his own goal. Had it knocked off his stick. Bouncing up into the air. Ended up on top of the net. Rolls to the side. Jets will take control again. Coming up to the blue line. It's Otto. Walking to the middle. Shooting. And a save made by Driscoll. Can't gather in the rebound. Finally, it goes to the T-Rex. And Parker Lewandowski will get out to the neutral zone. Couple hairy moments there. The T-Rex on their own power. Micah Jenkins pass. Intercepted by Dewar. He'll send it right back in. Jenkins back to retrieve. He'll come up the wall and bounce it out to center ice. Taken over once more by the Jets. Aksanov in his wrist shot into the glove of Driscoll. He'll hang on. 21 seconds left to go on the T-Rex power play. Having a little trouble right now getting out of their own end. New unit out there with the power play coming to an end. Getting back to normal lines as Sauer is paired up here with Goldman and Alcazar. Goal scorer for the T-Rex, Ramsey Paulo, spinning away from a check. Gets some space, will come out to the neutral zone. Has a 4-on-2 developing. He'll hang on to it on the backhand. Curls away from the wall. Ends up getting stripped off his stick, but comes right back to him. His turnaround shot was elbowed away by Dreisbach. Nice job by Ramsey Paulo to stick with it. Lost it, got it back, lost it, and got it back again a couple of times. Ended up ripping a shot right in between the hash marks, and Dreisbach got just enough of it to send it out of play. Draw to the right of Dreisbach. Mulligan able to pick it up in behind the net. Shield away from a check. He hits Chambers here on the near side. First clearing attempt didn't go. Second one will. Now Lee with the turnover. Couldn't get much further than the T-Rex blue line. Mulligan will come right back in. Turnaround pass deflects off a leg to the net, and Driscoll will hang on. 5 minutes gone here in the second period. We stay tied at 1. Face off to the right of Jonah Driscoll once more. On the draw here for the T-Rex is going to be Nicholas Nazy. Off the draw, they battle for it in the circle. Pops free to the far side. Out to the blue line, long snapshot from Otto was blocked by Nacy and bounces out to the neutral zone. Pushing it forward here was Dylan Dwyer, who's typically a goaltender, dressed in player's gear today. Now Miller behind his own net will hit Dwyer. He'll backhand it out to the blue line, but not out. Mulligan after it there. He'll chip it into the corner. Mulligan looking towards the slot, wrist shot off the stick. Ends up going in behind and cleared out to center ice by the T-Rex. Long shot by the Metro Jets gets booted to the wall. They battle for it here. It's Mulligan able to pull away from Nacy. But his only safe area was out at the neutral zone, so the Jets have to reconvene there. And over the line is Jamrook. Drop pass was taken away by the T-Rex, and one-on-one back the other way. Drag move by Goff around to check. Ends up into the corner. He gets bodied there by Donald Pratt. Cleared out to the blue line. Comes back to him right in the slot. Off the stick of Goff and on goal. Dreisbach will cover with 13:25 to play in period number 2. Michael Sauer on the face-off here for the T-Rex, going up against Hansen. Or pardon me, that's Jacobson. Jacobson will win this back for the Jets. Wrap it around the wall and out to the neutral zone. Back in T-Rex territory. They'll go D to D, just missed Paulo. Pass out towards the slot, knocked away and into the hands of Lewandowski out at the neutral zone. Lewandowski dropping it towards the middle into the feet of Adams, who's taken down. And another power play coming here for the T-Rex. Bit of a lucky play there for the T-Rex as that pass was in the skates of Ethan Adams anyway. And the swiping stick of Ryan Jacobson took the man down, and easy call for the referee to make. Third power play of the game coming up for the T-Rex. They are 0 for 2 so far. Wrapped around the wall. Paulo's able to keep it in for a brief moment. Then it comes right back to him. He's got some space walking in. Paulo shooting. And Dreisbach able to get just enough of that to knock it wide. Paulo's been all over the ice here in this hockey game. He's been brilliant. As it's cleared through the neutral zone and out into center ice, we get a whistle stopping play as I believe the net has been knocked off its peg. So we'll get a face-off. Coming back into Jets territory. Another lucky break here for the T-Rex as that play was coming back the other way. Now they're going to get a face-off back in the offensive zone to the right-hand side of Dreisbach. Sauer on the draw. Comes right back to him. A wrist shot. Sails wide. Pinching in here is Bakai. He'll come out to this near side for Paulo, who couldn't get too much on that shot. It was kicked away by Dreisbach and sent all the way down by the Jets. Paulo after it behind his own goal. Picking up some speed. Now through the neutral zone. Paulo crosses the blue line. Tried to drag around the check of Otto. Lost it in his skates. Wrapped around the wall. Adams there to hold it in. Pass back to Paulo. Has to battle through Otto to get control of that puck. Tyler Dix will throw it around the wall. Not out. At the blue line. Sauer's wrist shot. Bounces its way to Adams. He'll go back to Paulo here on this near side, just out of his reach and back out to the neutral zone. T-Rex will get a line change. Minute and 10 seconds gone here on the power play. Hansen in his own end. Oh, tried to go in behind the net, but didn't realize he was almost at a perpendicular angle there and nearly threw one right back into the slot, but no harm, no foul. Jets will send it the length of the ice. Here's Mulligan for the Metro Jets. He'll flip it back into T-Rex territory. Micah Jenkins the only one there. Up ahead for Alcazar. He chips around a check through the neutral zone. Lost it there at the blue line where Pratt will control. And he will wheel off the last couple seconds of this penalty. Send it over to Dewar. He'll throw it the length of the ice. Both teams back at full strength. Look out, there is the T-Rex goaltender. Driscoll nearly put that one back towards his own goal that he had vacated. Subsequently ran into his defenseman as well, but not many Jets were in on the plays. They were finishing a line change. Now the Jets controlling the offensive zone. Comes to Dewar here on the near side, walks to the circle, shoots one, shouldered away by Driscoll. Picked up by Jenkins. He runs into a check. Lubbers comes off the wall with it. Takes a wrist shot that sails wide. Mulligan on the far side. Unable to keep that play, or keep the puck on his stick. Bounces free. Dewar here on the near side. A wrist shot deflected off of a stick. I believe that's Donovan Miller in the lane. Back to Mulligan at the blue line. His wrist shot. They score! Connor Mulligan with the long wrister from the blue line. Had eyes. Ended up going off the post and in, and just about halfway through the second period, as it was in the first, the Metro Jets have taken their first lead of the game. It's 2-1. Really good shift there from the Metro Jets, and they were rewarded for it at the end of the day. As Otto's slap shot from the blue line ends up into the rump of Stomp. A little friendly fire there. Looks like Stomp is no worse for wear. Paulo behind his own net. Will zip away from a check and start out towards center ice. There's that skating ability of Ramsey Paulo. He protects the puck away from Hansen. Bounces towards the slot. T-Rex unable to forward that one towards the net. And Maxwell's clearing attempt taken away by Lewandowski. Wrist shot. Gets sent towards the corner and thrown out towards the neutral zone. Dumped right back in by Justin Goff. Otto behind his own net will wrap it around the wall. Can't try to settle this one down. Ends up coming out towards the neutral zone. 3-on-2. Hansen, a wrist shot, sails wide. Chambers there on the near side. Sends it right through the slot. Carter Cullinan for the T-Rex will bounce this out. Pass just out of the reach of Goff, who has to chase after it now. He and Dewar do battle. Dewar comes out of there with it. Sends it through the neutral zone. Chipped up ahead. Miller, his wrist shot off the shaft of the stick of Dreisbach. They battle for it in behind the net. Looks like it's actually on top of the back of the goal. They were able to pop it free, and the Jets out towards center ice. Donald Pratt for Aksanov. Aksanov stick checked at the far circle. Now Pratt forwarding that one up ahead for Acosta. He'll come out to the blue line. Dewar back to Acosta in the corner. Lets it go past him. Wraps around to the far side. Dwyer was there for the T-Rex. Now Aksanov takes a hit from Dwyer. Not his first hit of the game. He's thrown a couple. Dewar down low. Taken away by Miller. And out towards center ice. Aiden Acosta in his own end. Up ahead for Aksanov. LaPrise for Aksanov. His wrist shot kicked out by Driscoll. Comes back to LaPrise. He looked towards the high slot for Acosta. Was unable to get a good handle on it. Ends up skirting out to center ice. Turned right back again, though, by Aksanov. His pass out towards the slot. Whiffed on it. Acosta carries on. Goes to the blue line. Wrapped around by Otto. Acosta back to Otto at the far blue line. Throws one towards the goal. That bounces wide. Mulligan here on the near point. He couldn't find the net. Another good shift here for the Metro Jets as pass comes back door for LaPrise. Big save sliding to his left. Jonah Driscoll, as LaPrise had to kick that one from skate to stick. Gave Driscoll a little more time to set up for that shot and got it right in the stomach to keep it 2-1. 6:41 to play here in period number 2. 2-1, Metro Jets. This one gets sent the length of the ice. Icing waved off. Back in his own end, Connor Mulligan. He'll look up to the near blue line. Lee lost control of it, carried on by Jacobson, who was pinned up along the wall. Lee helps out. Will go out to the far blue line. Long wrister from Otto into the glove of Driscoll. Once again, we'll get a whistle with 6:06 to play in period number 2. So similar to the first period, it was a pretty even game for the first, I would say, 5 to 7 minutes of this period. And all of a sudden, the Metro Jets, after a couple penalty kills, have turned the heat up and have had a couple really good shifts in the T-Rex end, pinning them in their own zone. Here we find it in the T-Rex offensive zone. Sent up the wall by Pratt, now to center ice. Comes back to him, though. He'll use his partner, Hansen. We'll find Dix on the near side. Couldn't get it in. Finally, a bouncing puck. Comes back to Graham here in the neutral zone. He'll get around one check. Possible 2-on-1. He's got Dix on the other side. His wrist shot goes up off the glass, wraps around. Pratt slapper. That also catches the glass. Dewar on the far side looking to go back to Pratt. That pass was into the stick of Flukas, but Flukas, in his attempt to start moving back the other way, was unable to regain his balance, and the Jets recontrol. It's Lubbers. Slap shot once again, well up above the net. Dix carries on the far side. Lubbers will cut towards the middle, take a wrist shot. Never made it through. Now Maxwell for Dix. That puck bouncing around and out to center ice where Dewar will control. He'll hit the red line and dump it in. Paulo behind his own net. Braces for a check from Dewar. And the T-Rex will throw it all the way down and on goal, so icing is waved off. Mulligan for Maxwell. He'll chip it out to center ice. Picked up by Donovan Miller. He'll go to Miles Goldman. He couldn't get around Mulligan. And the Jets, Chambers will come in over the line. Wrist shot was blocked away to the corner. Stomp has it. Lost it. Chambers follows up. His pass out towards the slot, taken away by the T-Rex and kicked out to the neutral zone. Good back check, though, by Stomp to take it right back for the Jets. Chambers here on the near side, well covered by Jenkins, who sent it up the wall and out, and that will go the length for icing with 3:33 left to play in the second period. 2-1, Jets. Lewandowski on the draw here against Maxwell. Lewandowski will win this one back, but unable to really get the ears on. That was Jenkins. It was swiped off his stick and on goal. Good thing Driscoll was paying attention. He grabs that and hangs on. T-Rex will get a line change. They'll pull out Kalnin, Ethan Adams, and Nicholas Nacy. Nacy coming in for the faceoff. Ends up going to the Jets. A turnaround shot right off the draw from Chambers. Went off the cuff of the glove of Driscoll, who once again had to be prepared right off the faceoff. The chance for the T-Rex as Adams sends that one right through the slot. Wrist shot from the far wall, sails wide. Out to the blue line it comes. Long wrister from Jenkins. Bounces in behind the net, picked up there by Gavin Otto. Taken away, another wrist shot here from Adams. Was dulled down on its way through and sent to the corner. Maxwell evades a check. Uses his defenseman, and they'll skate out to center ice. Get as far as the blue line before they're stopped up. Adams, well covered, coughs this one up to Chambers. They'll throw a long one on goal. Driscoll loves it down with ease, and we'll get another whistle. First time these division rivals are seeing each other all year. We'll see each other 2 more times before this weekend concludes. Game tomorrow is going to be at 3:30 right back here at the Summit Ice Center. And the final game of the weekend on Sunday will be at 10:30 in the morning. All those times Central. For those of you Metro Jets fans tuning in from Michigan. Dewar here at the blue line. His wrist shot deflected off of Laprise. And out to center ice. They come long lead pass for Alcazar, trying to break away from a couple checks. He gets into the goal wall. Trying to get a move around the goaltender, Dreisbach, who is out for the poke check. And now we got a breakaway back the other way. It's Aksanov on the forehand into the glove of Driscoll. Great save by Jonah Driscoll coming out to challenge, but what a rush by Eric Alcazar, who had 2 men draped all over him, was still able to battle his way towards the net, drag his way around the goaltender, Dreisbach, who came out for the poke check and just lost it at the last second. Otherwise, that was going to be a highlight reel goal. Off the draw, comes out to the blue line. Pratt's wrister never made it through. Turnaround chance out in front, deflected by Jacobson, and I believe getting a pad on that was Driscoll. Jacobson's turnaround shot comes in behind. Lee will cycle it down low. Pinned up along the wall there is Schwarzer. He's able to escape a check and find Lee once more along the wall. Dewar coming down. His shot was blocked by Goff. Comes towards the slot. Jacobson and Goff collide. And finally gets pushed out to center ice by the T-Rex as we approach the final minute of the second. Dewar at his own blue line will play catch with Pratt. Pratt will come up the wall for Lee, who is hanging out here at the near blue line. Lee away from a check, throwing it towards the goal. Kicked out by Driscoll. Lewandowski pinned up along the wall. Lee is able to take it away, come out to the blue line, held in by Pratt. He'll wheel away from a check and hold on to it at the bottom of the circle. Let one go that deflects out of play with 42.8 to play in the second. Sauer on the draw here against Costa. Gets one by the T-Rex to the wall. They'll send it out towards center ice. Oh, but the clearing attempt ended up getting stuck in a couple of skates. Jets were able to hold it in for a moment. T-Rex send it down for an icing. Half a minute remaining in period 2. Tough break there for the T-Rex, as that was a 3-on-2 in the making. But just over-skated at the blue line. And luckily for them, with 3 forwards out in the neutral zone, the Jets were not able to get anything going. Tipped out to center ice off the draw, poked ahead into breakaway for Sauer. Sauer is in on the forehand, shoots one, and a good stop by Dreisbach. Sauer just trying to get that puck on net. He felt the player from the Metro Jets breathing down his neck from behind and decided, I'm just going to force this one on net. And a nice job by Dreisbach coming out to challenge and gobbled that one up with 20.2 to go on the clock. Bakai here off the draw. His shot towards the net, deflected off of leg, goes to the far side. Oh, Carter Collin might have had an open net. And his shot on goal got deflected in behind. Pass out to the blue line, goes in between a couple of players and all the way back. And that will do it for the second period. So 2 power plays in that period for the T-Rex. They are unable to convert. And the only goal coming to Connor Mulligan. It's his second of the season. It is 2-1 through 40 minutes of play. We'll be back with the third period right after this. You are watching Chicago T-Rex hockey on Black Bear TV. Back for period number 3 between the Chicago T-Rex and the Metro Jets. It's a 2-1 Metro Jet lead through 2 periods of play. Shots in total are 23-10 in favor of the Jets. In that second period, they outshot the T-Rex 10-5. So the special teams playing a factor here in this hockey game so far. T-Rex have had 3 power plays, have not been able to convert on any, but they've looked better each and every time out. So I am intrigued, should they get one more, what that power play is going to end up looking like. But the Metro Jets with their PK at 85%, getting a little bit better here as the game goes on, as the puck is dropped. Third period action is underway here at Summit Ice Center. Andy Petzinger here, bringing you along for the ride. Thank you for choosing to be with us. As Jacobson in the neutral zone, still some fresh water out on that ice, as you can see. Kind of stopped him up there in the neutral zone. Ramsey Paulo will forward that along for Flukas. He'll send it in deep, and it gets wrapped around. A battle for it along the far wall. Donald Pratt lost control of it, but carrying on is Dewar. He'll bounce it through the neutral zone and all the way down. T-Rex have it on the far side. Ramsey Paulo, the goal scorer for today's game for the T-Rex. A little bit of a miscommunication there at the blue line between Adams and Paulo. T-Rex are offside, and we got to whistle 56 seconds into the period. Draw coming just outside the Jet zone. Pushed in off the draw by Lewandowski. Lubbers along the near wall here. Try to cross ice pass, but whiffed on it. Ends up coming back for Hansen. He'll backhand it up ahead for Dix. Lubbers carries on. Lubbers on the far side. Goes shoulder to shoulder with Miller, but still is able to pull free with the puck. Passing out towards the slot. Knocked away from Tyler Dix. Comes right back to him. Spinning away from a check and cleared out to the neutral zone by Kalnin. He'll chase after it. Otto the first one there, however, for the Jets. And Dix back the other way. Lubbers able to drag around the check of Lewandowski. Gets crunched in the corner, however. Comes right back to Lubbers here at the bottom of the circle. Tosses it towards the net. It was loose there for a brief moment, and Driscoll gets a glove on that. And a whistle stopping play with 18:11 to play here in the third. To the right-hand side of Driscoll. Eric Alcazar going to go up against Ronnie Lubbers, or excuse me, that's Aiden Ricasa, pardon me. Jets win the draw. Axonov spinning away from a check along the wall, trying to protect the puck, ends up getting pinned up along the wall. Bounced up by Paulo off the glass, held in though by Mulligan. Comes back to Laprise, his wrist shot off the underside of the crossbar. Good keep in by the Jets, and they just missed cashing in on an attempt there from Aiden Ricasta. Or excuse me, Grayson Laprise, and a 2-on-2 back the other way. Here's Laprise again with Ricasta. Laprise again, he scores! Grayson Laprise went off the underside of the bar in his first shot. Fast forward 20 seconds. Goes off the inside of the far post and banks it in to make it 3-1 Metro Jets. Well, Grayson Laprise will not be denied. Nearly was able to put that third goal up on the board about 20 seconds earlier. Gets rewarded with a lot of good hard work. Clearing attempt for the T-Rex does not end up getting out. Chambers a turnaround backhand pass ends up rolling on goal, and Driscoll hangs on to it with 17:06 to play in the third. Laprise, his 7th goal of the year with an assist from Connor Mulligan. Mulligan with his 2nd point of the day. T-Rex will one-hand this out to the neutral zone. Pratt unable to settle it down. Ends up coming back to the T-Rex. Michael Sauer here on the near side. His long feed up ahead. Deflected off of a couple of skates. Ends up going to Chambers. Below the goal line, Stomp and Jenkins collide with one another. Cross-ice pass comes out to the far blue. Wrist shot from the blue line by Otto. Deflects off of his stick and over the goal. Carson Stomp on the far side will curl at the circle, throw it on goal. Kick save made. The rebound hacked out in front, sent just wide. Pushed out to center ice by Jenkins. Right back into the waiting hands of the Jets. Goaltender Driscoll will play it along. Out to the neutral zone it comes. Adams will play it off the bounce. Lewandowski will dump it in. Lee overskates at his own blue line, can't clear it out. Second attempt ends up going out towards the neutral zone. Lee trying to settle this puck down. Will backhand it in. Paulo goes up the wall with it. Needs a little assistance there. Ends up getting it in the form of Dylan Dwyer, who, as he's going down to the seat of his pants, is able to send it out to the neutral zone. If you're just joining us, number 89 out there, Dylan Dwyer, typically a goaltender, as this one snapped out of the air by Driscoll. Playing out today. And had a great moment in the first period, towards the very end of the period. He was in front of his own net, trying to defend, and in my head, he subconsciously reverted back to his goalie mentality. He flipped the stick over and threw the glove up, ready for the oncoming shooter. It was pretty hilarious to see from up here. Here's a cross-ice feed for Lee, and Jacobson accidentally took that off his stick. Lee was ready to pop that one as soon as it got to his stick, but Jacobson, unaware that pass was intended for him, stole that one. Now Jacobson, a little cross up in his own zone. Lee coming to help out, will forward it along for Jacobson. He's stood up by Paulo. Lee will pick it back up again and over the line offside as Jacobson unable to get back to the neutral zone. 47 left to play here in the third. 3-1 Metro Jets. Off the face-off, booted around. In the neutral zone comes to Colton Flukas. He'll bully his way into the offensive zone. He's able to get the puck in deep, but taken right back again by Graham. He'll hustle through the neutral zone. Drop that off for Lubbers. Out to the blue line. Wrist shot from Dewar, never made it through. Was blocked and cleared out to the neutral zone. T-Rex go D-to-D in their own territory. Cross-ice pass onto the stick of Nick Nacy. He'll send it in on goal, and Dreisbach will hang on to that one with 14:02 left to play in the third. Not too much play down to our right here in the first nearly 6 minutes of play. Offensive zone face-off, maybe a chance for the T-Rex to get something set up off of the face-off win. Michael Sauer going in on the draw up against Maxwell. A tie-up. Pulled free by the Metro Jets. Pratt coming up the near wall with it. Will chip it out to center ice. Getting it around the check of Bakai. Pratt chases after, getting towards the middle. Nice job, a good stick there by Ramsey Paulo to deny that chance. At the blue line, Dewar's snapper never made it through, and Paulo back the other way, 1-on-4. Paulo crossing. Stood up there by Pratt with a good active stick, but comes back to Paulo on the near wall. His wrist shot, he scored! Oh, Ramsey Paulo! A hard wrister from the wall that seemed to fool Brendan Dreisbach, and Paulo, with 2 goals on the game, has pulled the T-Rex to within 1. Good hard work by Ramsey Paulo in the offensive zone, would not be denied. Unleashed an absolute rocket. Brendan Dreisbach was unable to get in front of, went up over his blocker, post and in. And the T-Rex are within 1. An unassisted goal by Ramsey Paulo as we get an icing call that should not have been an icing call, so the draw will come back to center ice. Goaltender went out to play that puck, so it should have nullified the icing. It was called anyway. Good job by the officials to make sure they got together and got that call right. Here's Laprise chipping it up ahead. Racosta after it now, pulling up as Aksanov going to the net. Nice job by the T-Rex to collapse. Lewandowski specifically getting a stick there and knocking it out to center ice. Here's Aiden Racosta. They'll dump it in. Taken by the T-Rex off the glass, not out. Aksanov, his wrist shot was blocked. Comes back to Laprise. Around one check to the goal, but he was stick checked as soon as he was getting ready to let it fly. Hansen at the blue line. Wrister was blocked. Goff got in the way of that. D-to-D they go. It's Hansen in the high point. His wrist shot knocked away by Driscoll with the glove. Sent up the wall. Justin Goff out to center ice. Nice outlet to Ethan Adams. He's 1-on-3 coming into the Jets zone. Was stopped up as soon as he got in over the blue line. And the Jets' Gavin Otto with some wheels out to the neutral zone. Gets into T-Rex territory. Protects the puck and sends it down low. Clearing attempt. Held in for a moment at the blue line, then sent out to center ice. Stomp. Carries in his wrist shot. Blocked on its way through. Comes back to Maxwell, who shot on goal. Was stopped by Driscoll. He had trouble locating the rebound for just a moment. Ends up finding it and gathering it in. 11:41 to play in the third. 3-2. Metro Jets. Unofficial shots in this period, just about halfway through, are 5-2 in favor of the Jets. Good active stick there by Noah Chambers, as getting ready to wheel and deal again was Ramsey Paulo. Chambers got in the way of that. This time the T-Rex will flip it out to the neutral zone. Dewar able to split through a couple of players. Stomp carries on. His wrist shot goes up off the glass and wraps around to the opposite side. Snapper from Mulligan at the blue line. Comes to Chambers near side. Chambers away from a check, trying to get towards the goal. Was stick checked there by Ramsey Paulo, who comes out to center ice. Paulo around a check. 2-on-1 back the other way. Paulo drag move and a wrist shot, and Dreisbach able to get a glove on it. Ramsey Paulo, a drag move towards the middle of the ice. Ended up shooting the opposite direction, trying to catch the goaltender cheating. But Dreisbach, nice job staying square to the shot. Ramsey Paulo might be the most dangerous player on the ice on either team right now. Not sure how he's still got any juice left. There's a wrist shot from the blue line that gets blocked. Taken back by Max Lee. He'll send it across. Hansen hits the red line and dumps it in. Lee braces for a hit from Miller. Pops free. Alcazar will skate out towards center ice. Alcazar along with Goldman. Alcazar takes a hit and will chip it in deep. Taken back by Lee. He'll clear it out to the neutral zone. Dreisbach will play it off, and here's Schwarzer all alone at center ice, walking in and shooting, and Driscoll able to get just enough of the glove on that to knock it down and reel it back in. Just under 10 minutes left to play here in the third period. It's 3-2 Jets. T-Rex have 10 minutes to try to get that tying goal at the very least. As I mentioned, these two teams are third and fourth respectively in the Midwest Division. 5 points separates the T-Rex from the Metro Jets as Carter Cullinan throws one on goal and Dreisbach gobbles that one in. But a big weekend here as there's 3 games on the line. Should the T-Rex be able to come out in at least 2 of them, they'll be making some moves and gaining some headway on the Metro Jets. Mulligan comes up the wall. Out to center ice they go. Tyler Dix trying to get around Paulo. Good job by Paulo to cut him off and swap the puck away. Rebound bounces right towards the front of the goal. Driscoll able to locate and hang on. That puck was in behind the net, popped up in the air and found its way right into the top of the crease where Tyler Dix was waiting. He didn't get too much on the shot. Jonah Driscoll gets a glove on that. Off the face-off, wrapped around to the far side. Here's Paulo clearing and nearly knocking me out up here. Out of play it goes. 9:15 left to play in the third. Redo that face-off in the T-Rex zone. Lubbers comes away with it. Cycles down low for Graham. Graham trying to throw that one towards the goal, but Paulo all up in his face, and 3-on-2 back the other way they come. Paulo drops it off for Flukas for Paulo back door. Oh, and fully outstretched with the left pad is Dreisbach. Paulo just a little too far in front of that puck. Had to reach back for it on his backhand, didn't get too much on it. Was able to swipe it on goal, and Dreisbach fully outstretched with that left pad, was able to keep it flat on the ice. Another offensive zone draw coming here for the T-Rex. Off the draw, comes out to the blue line. Jenkins throwing it towards the goal. Didn't end up making its way through a maze of players. And Aksanov back the other way for the Jets. Aksanov, he and Jenkins collide. Aksanov will chip and chase. Picked up by Michael Sauer. His clearing attempt ended up coming right back towards the slot, and Miller ended up closing his hand on that puck, so we'll get a whistle stopping play and an end zone face-off in the T-Rex zone. Michael Sauer on the draw up against Aiden Racosta. One back to the blue line for the Jets. Long wrist shot. Oh, that nearly took the teeth out for Laprise. He was able to get out of the way of that. They battle for it along the near boards. Pops free. Racosta's turnaround shot deflected towards the far wall. Wrapped back to the near side. Aksanov to the middle. Racosta there. Couldn't kick it to the stick. Bouncing around in the high slot, Aksanov has it. Out to the blue line, whiffed on, wrist shot by Dewar, and nearly stealing that coming back the other way was Nick Nacy. Micah Jenkins will chip around one check to an open wall. Alcazar takes a hit but makes a play. He's able to get that puck out to the neutral zone. Bouncing around at center ice. Racosta unable to settle it down. Miller will dump it in. That pass just out of the reach of Stomp. He gets a stick on it, and it goes all the way back into the T-Rex zone, not far enough for icing. Wrapped around the wall, Maxwell will drop it down for Stomp. His wrist shot deflected off of a stick. Ends up hitting the glass in behind, stays in play. Pratt, shot toward the goal, was blocked. Clearing attempt, bounces out towards center ice. Bakai, the defenseman, after it here. Pratt beats him to the puck. He'll cycle over for Hansen. And stomp through the neutral zone. Will drop it off, had Maxwell behind him. That pass didn't connect, and it's cleared out. Otto chasing back into his own end. Otto wheeling through a couple of checks. Otto will pull up, waiting for the play to develop. Will throw it on goal. Driscoll was ready for that. And he'll hang on. Nearing 6.5 left to play in period 3. 3-2. Metro Jets. Face off to the right side of Driscoll. On the draw is Sauer. He'll be going up against Maxwell. This one's won by the T-Rex. Taken down was Paulo. And are we going to get a penalty? No, we're going to get a high sticking call as the puck was knocked down with a high stick. And the draw will end up coming out to the neutral zone. Thought we might see a penalty there as Ramsey Paulo had the puck on his stick, had his feet taken out from underneath him from a fallen MetroJet player. No penalty awarded, however. Paulo has it back in his own end. Will wheel around the net, chip it off the boards, and get it right back to himself. Nice move around, a couple of checks. Paulo stick check there in the neutral zone, however, by Stomp. The T-Rex will reassemble. Jenkins in his own end, going up the wall. Bounces towards the slot. Back into the hands of the T-Rex. Kalnin hits the red line, will dump it in. Otto after it there. Gives it away and behind the net. Goldman takes a hit. That's Samuel Hansen who laid the boom on Goldman. And now in the neutral zone, Jacobson here on the near side will walk and shoot one. Took a good chunk by Donovan Miller. Still was able to get the shot on net. Driscoll pats it away. And Kalnin will one-hand this one out to the neutral zone on the far side. 5.5 to go in the third. Time ticking down here on the T-Rex. Schwarzer has that go through his legs. Jacobson will chip it back to the blue line. Lee carries on there. His shot towards the goal deflects off of a leg and hits the glass. Lee once more. Here on the near wall. Pass out towards the slot for Mulligan. Didn't get a lot on the shot and shanked it wide. Macy cannot clear. Graham on his backhand will spin. Look out in front for Lee, who was alone. That pass just out of his reach, however. Picked up by Bakai. He can't get around Lee. Pass from Graham from below the goal line. Didn't make it out front. Bakai will take it back. He'll wrap it around the wall, and it bounces out to the neutral zone, where Dewar will control. Dewar up the wall. Dix here in the neutral zone. We'll leave it for Graham. He'll chip it in. Jenkins around the wall to the far side. Dwyer will get it out to the neutral zone. 4 minutes left. Dewar will rag it back in his own end. Allow his team to set up on the breakout and also kill off a little bit of time. That pass does not connect and comes all the way down. Icing waved off. Here's Dix on the turnover, pass out in front. They score! The waved off icing and a strange bounce off the wall. Dix was able to find a wide open Aiden Racosta in the slot. Racosta powers it through the 5-hole, and a 2-goal lead is restored for the Jets. So 3:40 left to go in the third period. The T-Rex once again find themselves down by 2 in the offensive zone. Lewandowski pinned up along the wall there in the corner. Four white jerseys trying to pull that puck free. Finally, it ends up going to Donald Pratt, who runs into the official, still is able to regain control of the puck, threw it on his own goal. Look out there. Dreisbach had to be ready. Clearing attempt turned over at the blue line. There's a snapshot by Sauer, kicked out by Dreisbach. And cleared out by the Metro Jets. Racosta battling with Bakai. Racosta behind the net. Will come out to Pratt. Bouncing around in the slot. Racosta has it again down low. Aksanov holding it towards the middle. Racosta turnaround. Couldn't get the shot away. Decides to leave it for Pratt. He can only chop at it. And it comes back for Ramsey Paulo. 2-on-2 back the other way. Ramsey Paulo ever dangerous. Around Hansen but lost control of the puck as he made his move. Carried out to the blue line, held in long. Wrister ends up hitting the glass. Lucas has it taken away and chipped out to center ice. Racosta 2-on-1 with Laprise. Racosta to Laprise. Laprise couldn't get a handle on it, but gets it right back and ends up getting a tripping call. So 2:03 left to go in the third. Another power play opportunity for the T-Rex. A quick strike can put them back in this hockey game. And a timeout for the T-Rex with 2:03 to go on the clock. Quick scoring recap for you. The T-Rex were able to kick things off 4 minutes and 11 seconds into this hockey game. It was Ramsey Paulo, as he did here in the third period, was able to unleash a missile and go upstairs, this time on the glove side, to open up the scoring to make it 1-0 T-Rex. Metro Jets would answer back. It would be Ryan Jacobson, just added to the elite roster today, who was able to go upstairs, blocker side on Driscoll to tie things up in 1. That's how we ended the first period. Only goal of the second coming to the Metro Jets. It was Connor Mulligan. Halfway through the second period, that was where we stayed. Third period opened up with the Jets. Grayson Laprise able to power one home to make it 3-1. Ramsey Paulo making things interesting with a shot from the boards that somehow beat the goaltender Dreisbach over the blocker to make it 3-2. And just a couple moments ago, Aiden Racosta left all alone in the slot after a waved off icing. He's able to power one right through the 5-hole of Driscoll. But for now, it's going to be a 6-on-4 as there's an empty net for the T-Rex. So pulling out all the stops is head coach Pavel Kutsevich. As we start out the power play here in the neutral zone, gets deflected into the Jets territory. After it is Nace. Ian Otto battle along the wall. Nace trying to kick it up ahead. Coming in to help out is Ethan Adams. He'll wrap it around to the far side where Sauer is waiting. Sauer has it, a shot towards the goal, never made it through, comes out to the blue line. Paulo goes D-to-D, a snapshot from Bakai, deflects about halfway through. Pass out to the blue line, a little too hot to handle for Sauer. And Paulo back in the neutral zone. Paulo able to get in over the blue line, lost control of the puck. However, the Jets will clear it down and just wide of an open net. No icing since it's on the power play. Lakai had to come back and take that away from Tyler Dix. Ramsey Paulo over the blue line. Around one check of Otto. And behind, Bakai goes out to an open wing. Sauer's wrist shot kicked out of there by Dreisbach. Adams here on the near side. His wrist shot deflects up into the air to the opposite side. And behind the net, Otto and Paulo. Otto will win that battle, wrap it around the wall and out to the neutral zone. About a half a minute remaining here in the third period. Here comes Sauer. He was stopped up as he got to the blue line. Nice job there to step up by Brian Jacobson. Dumped in by the T-Rex. It's Pratt in the corner. Pass right through the slot from Flukas. Nobody home for the T-Rex. And cleared out by the Jets. A bouncing puck finds its way into the goal. Long clear from his own blue line by Ryan Jacobson, who opened the scoring for the Jets. Will cap it with 9 seconds left to go in the period. The Jets are going to win the hockey game. Off the draw, Maxwell will bring it in, wrap it around the wall. Final seconds tick off, and the game will come to a close. So the Metro Jets break their 2-game losing streak and will improve to 8-4 on the season. Meanwhile, the T-Rex winning streak is over. They will fall to 4-7. Final shots through 3 periods, 33-18. In favor of the Metro Jets. Third period much closer, 10-8 in favor of the Metro Jets. We appreciate you all tuning in. The next game for both of these teams will come tomorrow afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. You can find it right back here on Black Bear TV. But for now, we appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Metro Jets win 5-2. Good night, everybody.